What is going on, guys? Hope you are all doing well. So welcome back to the Monday analysis video. In this, today we're going to go through GA and Euro JPY, as I'm seeing two very clean setups on these two pairs, and we have some very clean zones as well to look for buys and sells from. So if we get up a clean chart, first of all, and we'll start with GA, and we will go to the 4-hour. So first thing then is looking at our overall bias. We are clearly very bullish, and I wouldn't be looking at any sells right now on this pair. I'm only looking at buys. And most recently, if we just quickly map out the structure, we can see that we sort of wicked above this daily structure. So you could have been seeing this as a liquidity grab, but price then ended up coming back down and holding demand, telling us that buyers are still in control. As you can see, price came into this clean area of demand just here, which was imbalanced. Price came back in, tapped it perfectly, and then continued its wave over to the upside. So most recently, we've had this being our higher high and this being our break of structure. Therefore, our trade-in range is from this low to this high. This is the higher low, this is the higher high. And given our initial bias of price being very bullish, we can anticipate now that price is going to form a higher low, and for it to do that, it needs to come up and take out this high. So then what we can also see is that price has actually come into like this was the whole area of imbalanced demand on the 4-hour, but if we go to the 15-minute, we can actually refine it down to this extreme area of demand just down here, which if we go back across, price tapped into perfectly, taking out this early buyer wick, meaning that all of the buyers were taken out of the market, buy side liquidity was taken, and therefore now we are in searching of sell side liquidity, and the nearest point of sell side liquidity is obviously the current high of the trend. So then if we just now look at the 15-minute structure, we can see that we've had a sweep of liquidity. Prices then shifted structure from lower lows and lower highs to higher lows and higher highs, which we observed when price broke this structure. This is our change of character, as this was the most recent lower high of this trend, which price managed to close above with this candle just here. So then what we're anticipating now is for price to give us a bigger pullback into some sort of higher time frame level of demand. And at the moment, for me, I have a few different areas where I'd like to go from, but we want to be making sure that our POI is first of all in a discount. We don't want to be buying in premium pricing, as price is likely to retrace, a little bit more than that. So ideally, we want price to come to at least this 50% line. And then if we go to the lower time frames, we can look for which areas would actually be valid. So I've got a couple of levels that I want to highlight. We've got, first of all, this hourly level of demand just here. We get rid of this, which, as you can see, price induced when it came very close towards it, but never actually tapped it. So I'm seeing this as a sort of area of liquidity above the area of demand. And also, we also have this extreme demand here, but I don't really see price coming all the way back down to there, which as well was left in balance and induced by this wick. So same sort of reasoning behind why they're clean zones. Obviously, another scenario is that price doesn't even retrace and it just keeps flying up. Overall targets for the buys, I would be a little bit conservative with this. I wouldn't target the high. I would target this area of supply, as this just looks very clean for me. I think price will most likely have some sort of pullback from it, even though we are technically bullish. We don't want price to come all the way up to here and then reverse on us. So I would be a little bit conservative with the targets and target this area. So yeah, overall then, just to summarize, waiting for a pullback into discounted pricing at one of these two levels, and then we can look for that confirmation style entry to buy up to around 1.93, which is that 4-hour level of supply. Or if you want to be a bit more ambitious with your targets, you can target this 4-hour swing high at 93925. Also being cautious of the news that we have in Asia session today. I don't really see price coming to these levels before then. So actually that might maybe to our benefit, as it may cause price to pull back a little bit to one of these zones. And as for confirmations, if you are new to the channel, what we look for is for price to do something like this, where we tap the level, make an initial rally to the upside. Price then sweeps that initial tap. We then see that break of structure. We wait for a retracement into a level of demand if we get a clean entry. And then we wait for price, or we just simply set the limit and let price play out. So that was it for GA. If we go to Euro JPY now. So this pair, we can kind of view it in one of two ways. So the first way would be that if we go on the daily, actually, first of all, this was our most recent daily higher low. So one way of seeing this is that this on the daily time frame was a change of character, for then a pullback for further sells. Another way of viewing it, which is what I think is personally more likely, is that this was just a daily liquidation or a liquidity grab for then price to come and seek that sell side liquidity above this high at 158. The reason being, this impulsive move down here just looks very intentional, as if it was coming for liquidity and not reversing. Normally when price does a full reversal on the daily, you see some sort of wick out or some sort of liquidity grab. In this case, we didn't have that, and we left these sort of equal highs at 158, which I think price will most likely come and search for. So if we then take a different perspective and look at this as a liquidity grab, so this was a sweep of these sort of two equal lows. Price then came into this 4-hour level of demand, and we had a very clean reaction from it. And if we just look on the 1 hour now, you can see that price had this initial change of character here, as this was the most recent lower high of the trend. Price wicked out those early buyers above our zone. We then distributed over to the upside. Price pulled back, mitigated this 15-minute level of demand. We then had a further break of structure just here. And going back to the 1 hour, we left behind this unmitigated level of hourly demand just here. If you see, this was the sell candle, which caused that break of structure. It was left imbalanced, and now price is pulling back towards it. Another thing that gives me confidence in this sort of area is where price currently is. It hasn't really reacted from anything significant. And what I noticed was that we also had this imbalanced level of supply above, which looks like price may want to gravitate towards. So even if we are wrong on our daily bias and price may want to make another leg to the downside, we could still see the buys up to this level before then price selling off. As like I said, where price is currently at now, I don't think it carries enough weight to cause a full reversal and for price to come and take out this low down here. So for now, we'll be keeping an eye on this sort of area of demand. And if we get that clean confirmation entry, again, like this, or another break of structure and then a pullback, we can wait for a price to do something like this and buy up to this level of supply, and then obviously monitor price and see what it wants to do. Price may give us a nice sell confirmation entry at this zone for then us to take price lower. So yeah, these are the two main zones that I'm looking at on Euro JPY. Obviously, if price blasts straight through this level, then we may just see the sells straight through. And obviously, in that case, our bias would be wrong. But for the time being, this is what I have marked up, and this is what I'm going to be monitoring. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video useful. As always, if you have any other pairs you want me to analyze, drop them in the description below, and I will post that on Instagram for you guys later in the week. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment what pairs you were looking at for the week ahead. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video.